Hall of Famer is released from Green Bay. A girl beats the boys, and spring training has begun. Stay tuned. Sports Talk Live is next. Hello and welcome into Sports Talk Lives. We are your hosts. I am Nick Rytilahti.
I'm Noey Anderson.
And I'm Callie Frank.
We begin today in Titletown, USA. On Friday, the Green Bay Packers officially released NFL Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, Charles Woodson after 7 years with the club. Woodson had signed a 5-year contract before the 2010 season and was due to make $10 million this season. By cutting him, the Packers saved that room against the salary cap. Charles missed 9 games this season due to a broken collarbone, but did return to play in 2 playoff games where he clearly made a difference in the tackling aspect of the defense. Noey, we'll start with you. Do you agree with this move to release Charles Woodson at this point of his career?
You know what, I'm going to have to agree that it's good for the Packers. I mean, he's been with them 7 years. He's a very versatile guy. He'll be able to move anywhere, like, with ease pretty much. I think a team like the Patriots could use him as a safety, but it's all part of the business. You know, this is how it works, but in the end, I don't think he'll be out of work for very long.
I'm also going to have to agree that the Packers made the right decision here. Charles is getting a little old in the age. He, like Nick was saying, he missed 9 games this season. And also, this is now freeing up some money so that they can give longer contracts to guys like Clay Matthews, B.J. Raji, younger guys that are going to have a bigger impact down the way for the future for the Green Bay Packers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, undoubtedly, Charles Woodson, I said it before, an NFL Hall of Famer,
Absolutely.
A Green Bay Packer Hall of Famer. There's no doubt about it. When you look at the story of him coming in, a big, splashy free agent, and other than Reggie White, Charles Woodson has become the best signing in free agency in the history of the Green Bay Packers, right behind Reggie. He was really a big brother type in the locker room. A lot of players looked up to him. Tremont Williams said that Charles Woodson taught him how to become a professional football player.
I think that's where he's going to be missed the most, actually. He has a big impact on defense, but he was a key veteran guy that held them together. Especially our defense right now is pretty young, but a lot of upcoming guys. He was one to give them the guidance that they need when they came into the team.
So how is the secondary going to pan out? Now, we saw Green Bay. They had success this season with Charles gone.
Yes.
Do you see this same flux of talent that will just remain? Guys like Tremont Williams and Sam Shields, Casey Hayward, making up your 3 secondary members at the corner spot, and then M.D. Jennings, Jerron McMillan in the back?
I definitely think so. I mean, with Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback, you can't really go wrong. If there's someone to catch the ball, it's going to be just fine. You know, we still have Cobb, James Jones, and Jordy Nelson, so I definitely think they're going to be okay this season, without a doubt.
I definitely think they're good. In the secondary, especially at cornerback, Casey Hayward had a tremendous season.
Almost won Rookie of the Year.
Yes, he came out. I think he ended up with 6 or 7 interception, most in the rookie. I think maybe to be a little more worried is in safety. They got M.D. Jennings, Morgan Burnett. M.D. Jennings, I think he's got a couple things to tweak, but Burnett has started every game the last 2 seasons. He's been with the Packers, so he's very reliable. Yeah,
Burnett certainly has some tackling issues, and I think that's the biggest thing you're going to lose besides the locker room stuff with Charles Woodson. He was the surest tackler on that defense. You hope guys coming back like Desmond Bishop and Nick Perry can make up for the lack of tackling. We'll stick in Green Bay and talk about another potential guy that will be leaving Titletown, Greg Jennings. 30 years old, wide receiver, had just 36 receptions for 366 yards and 4 touchdowns this season in a truly injury-plagued year for old Greg. Far cry from his 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, which he amassed from 2008 and 2010. Will Greg Jennings be the next to leave Green Bay? We'll start with you, Callie.
I think Greg Jennings will definitely be the next to leave Green Bay. He is roughly going to cost the Packers about $10 million in 2013, so that'll help them free up some money in that salary cap that they're having trouble with. There's one spot that the Packers aren't hurting is wide receiver. They have Cobb, they have Jones, who had a tremendous season this year, and Jordy Nelson. So there's 3 great targets that Rodgers has to go at, and for some reason the Packers do a great job bringing in guys at the wide receiver position, and they got Boykin that can, if he leaves, they'll bring in that 4 spot. I think they're fine at wide receiver, especially with a great quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. He can find his targets.
Yeah, you talk about bringing in small school receivers. Greg Jennings was really the first of that mold for Ted Thompson. Came from Western Michigan. You didn't know what you had in this guy, but instantly his rookie season, you knew he was something special. He's looking for a contract that's going to be similar to Larry Fitzgerald money.
Exactly.
And with the risk involved with that, and as you said, Callie, with the young, stable receivers behind him, I don't think Green Bay and Ted Thompson are going to try to match any big order. I think Greg may get a decent contract, but it will not be in Green Bay.
I completely agree with you guys. I mean, it was already released this week that his house is on the market, so if you're looking for somewhere in GB, that's the place to check out.
A few extra dollars.
But he also stated this week that he wouldn't mind joining his former player Joe Philbin down in Miami, and also released that he wouldn't mind, heading over the border to Minnesota. So who knows what's actually going to happen? But like you stated earlier, we have Jordy Nelson, Cobb, Jones. I think we'll be excited. And Jennings is just getting a little too expensive for the Packers.
Callie, before we send it to you, let me jump in here. We already heard the mention of the Dolphins reuniting with possible former offensive coordinator Joe Philbin, a good young quarterback in Ryan Tannehill. Room for growth in Miami. Any other destinations that you can see Greg Jennings going to?
Well, my choice was definitely the Miami Dolphins, especially because they have the running back situation covered with what do they call them, the hamster wheel?
That's Tampa.
Oh, is that Tampa? All right, mistake. But
you got Reggie Bush, possibly Reggie Bush staying in Miami.
But him and Philbin definitely had a great connection, so he'll be able to fit right in there. Philbin knows what he wants. I think that is a really good spot for him.
Miami's owner, Steve Ross, has openly said they're looking for an explosive wide receiver to team up with Brian Hartline and Devon Best. 2 average line wide receivers, but not the big play threat. Greg Jennings really fits that mold, and the Dolphins only had 3 combined touchdowns from their wide receiver core last year. Seems like it could be a good stop for Greg. Also a team in consideration, the St. Louis Rams. Right now they're really far from reaching a deal with their star wide receiver Danny Amendola. If he goes, St. Louis may be looking for him, and of course the Vikings. They've got, Greg has always said he'd like to play indoors. He likes domes. And, a lot of players with their egos, I'm sure he'd like to play Green Bay twice a year and show him you should have given me big money. Greg Jennings may be leaving. We'll move away now from the NFL and refocus on in-season sports, starting first with NCAA basketball and the Badgers. Before the season began, the Badgers took a big loss when point guard Josh Gosser went down with a torn ACL. And although this squad doesn't have all the blue chips in the world, Bo Ryan has turned them into giant killers again with big wins this year over Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, and most recently a 71-49 thwomping of Ohio State over the weekend. The Big Ten title is actually within reach right now for this group of misfit toys. Noey, we start with you. Will the Badgers win the regular season Big Ten title?
You know what? I have to be honest with you. I definitely think that the Badgers have turned up the heat, which was much needed recently. They came into the Ohio game, confident and ready to play, prepared. And we all know what the Badgers are capable of. But as far as going all the way, personally, I don't think so. Indy, they're going to be a team that will hands down be successful the entire season. At the end they're going to come strong. And with the Badgers, they're successful, but who knows if they'll actually make it all the way. But we still have Michigan State on the horizon for next week, so who knows what's going to happen there. Both know great 2 teams, so we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, and the rest of the schedule, they're only playing 1 ranked team, and that's Michigan. So they absolutely have a chance. But Wisconsin, they beat Indiana. It's just you never really know what's going to come from them. They're not that reliable team that when you're going in.
They've been a very unpredictable squad up and down this year, and it's really all hinged on their shooting.
Yeah,
it's been horrible at times.
And so it's really dependent on that, and you're not going into a game against Wisconsin confident like, oh, we got this team. It's kind of like it's always a little shifty with them.
There's no way they're going to win the Big Ten title. They've got to surpass Indiana, Michigan, and Michigan State with only one head-to-head matchup on the way.
Absolutely.
Even if they take care of business, it's probably not going to happen. But what a great job this season by Bo Ryan. Really one of his